Welcome to Manifesting Through Motherhood. I'm your host, Lindsay Williams, a self-development mentor, entrepreneur and author, dedicated to helping busy mums like you manifest success, balance and create passive income on your terms. With years of experience in mindset, manifestation, fitness, parenting and business growth, I share simple yet powerful strategies to help you transform your life without the overwhelm. If you're ready to up-level your mindset, build a thriving business and create the life you truly deserve, you're in the right place. You can also find all my books on Amazon, packed with tools to help you manifest and grow. So don't forget to follow the podcast to be updated on all new episodes. And let's get going. Welcome back, ladies and guys. If you are listening, how is everybody doing? I thought I'd do a sneaky Sunday special because I am feeling in the mood for an extra one. That's like Monday, Friday and a sneaky Sunday. So it just goes to show when you are setting up your own podcast that you can just commit to a day. If you're a busy mum like me, busy things happen. Usually I do commit, but I always do one a week. I've never ever missed it. Sometimes I'll do 3 a week. I've done 4 a week, depending how I'm feeling. I have a lot going on in my head. I want to support you guys, and I look at the downloads and today I've just had so many downloads today, and I'm like, right, like everybody must be feeling in a kind of a way. Like people need supporting. People, it's January. Everybody is getting on it now, so it's funny to see the episodes and like what people are downloading and people are looking at, and it is a lot of all the self-development and all the ways I can nourish and help you. And today I want to talk about food, because there's so many of us that just feel like we are falling off track all the time, and staying on track with food isn't about being perfect. It's not about clean eating, cutting everything out or starting again on Monday. It's about supporting your energy, nourishing yourself, not punishing yourself, making choices that work in real mum life. Some days that looks like a home-cooked meal. Some days that looks like toast, leftovers, or eating standing in the kitchen, which I do regular. It doesn't matter as long as we know and we are educated. If you are weight challenged and you are struggling at the minute, it's so hard because there's so much information out there online. No, like when I worked in the gym, I'd never give people diet. Unless someone are doing like a really strict plan, I would give them something to follow, like a meal plan. It didn't fit a lot of my busy mums. A lot of the guys I would give you like a guide. Don't worry if you drop off it. It would be under what they need a day. Because sometimes if we've just got a little something to follow, I feel like it's just a little bit more structure. Because I feel like as busy mums, we do need like the structure. And I have been battling my weight for years, especially since having a C-section. You might relate to this. My stomach has never been the same. I don't just burn it off like I did. I can't go to the gym every night. Before my son, I was kickboxing, I was doing karate, I was doing everything. I was burning. But our bodies change, and I know since I was 40, things have got slower. Everything just changed for me, and it does. And people always say, oh well, this and that, but we know our own bodies, and we should always listen to our own bodies. We know what changes our bodies, and we know like food and food noise, it does exist. We all struggle with that, but I feel like it's just having a bit of a plan is really important. And food as support and not control, because when we are tired, overwhelmed or emotionally stretched, food often becomes another thing that we judge ourselves on, because we do comfort eat. We might binge eat. So instead of asking what I should be eating, try and ask yourself, what would support me today? Because sometimes we lose track. We don't know what to eat. Sometimes we just need comfort food. You might want a bit of soup. You might have a meal plan for the week. You know what? And you want to go off track one day, just go off track. Because I always say don't limit yourselves. But if we are in a strict plan and we are trying to lose weight, we need to stick to something. But if we stick to things that aren't if we're just so rigid all the time, I feel like we just tell ourselves it's a diet and then we just fall off track again. We just get really fed up. So, looking at protein-based foods so you don't have that mid-morning crash. Like if you're having cereals, sugary cereals, your belly's grumbling within an hour. Drinking more water before drinking snacks. We all know this anyway, so you don't need me to tell you this. Adding something nourishing instead of cutting something out. So adding foods to foods. If you're having yogurts, adding fruits to that. Have a boiled egg at the side. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a really good food group. It's better than having bacon butters, sausage butters, all the fry-ups. It's anything that's like processed and refined sugars, then we know that our body is going to burn it quick and it's going to go straight to your stores. And we're not probably going to have the energy to burn it off. We're not going to go to the gym. Yes, I know it's easy just to eat like a meal bar, but I always feel like if we do prep the night before or that week before, we are in such like a good stead for the week. But it's not linear, it's always up and down. Our food, it changes all the time. I've done every single, well, I'm not going to mention names, I've tried everywhere. I've been to so many different diet groups over the years. What we find ourselves doing, if we have a few days off, we go on holiday, we're just eating out of stress or exhaustion and having high sugary foods or takeaways. We always feel like we're ruining it. But we don't need to reset or compensate for it and punish your body. Just forget about it and just get on with it the next day. We've got a plan, we've got something to follow. Don't restrict yourself and don't go on those nights out. We can, even when we eat out, I always look at different foods now, and portion control is key. And I feel like if we ate with the blindfold on and we felt full and then we were to say, right, take the food away, we would be full. It's something to really think about. You could probably do this. Just be careful what you're eating. And like, try it. Just put a blindfold on and eat your food and just eat, and maybe cut like something that's easy to eat that you can cut up, and then just think, when I'm full, just stop and then just maybe see what you've got left on your plate, because it's our brain signals that say just keep eating. And like, I don't like wasting food at all. I hate it when my son like leaves food. I always used to eat it, but there's one of my naughty habits. Well, it used to be, especially when he was younger. So let's talk about GLP-1. So I don't talk about it a lot online, only because, I could talk about it more, but I don't want to influence people in a way, because last year when my nan passed away, my sugars were, I don't know what was going on, my sugars went very high, and obviously I went to the doctors and he said, you need to go on medication. So obviously I was offered the GLP-1 medication because of my asthma and my pain management. It was suggested that, because of I had weight gain, and obviously the sugars, it was causing the weight gain. I was really struggling like with my weight, and it was kept going up and up, and I couldn't figure out what we're doing. I was doing everything, and I just kept feeling bloated, and everything was just changing. I wasn't sure what was going on, and I was absolutely shocked and disgusted with myself. And I just don't get why my husband couldn't figure out what was going on, because he's like, I'm with you a lot, and I don't only things that I could pinpoint was Diet Coke that I was doing a lot of. But obviously it must have been the carbohydrates, and my husband eats so much more sugar than me. It's like I couldn't figure out. Like, I'm on my feet, I go to the gym, I was like, what is going on? So I have been supported for the last year on medication, and so it's obviously been going up medication each month. I haven't changed the dose for a while because my sugars now are at the lowest they've ever been in a very long time. So my sugars they're great. Like, they're at a level now, they're just back to normal. I haven't come off the medication yet. I will be doing, or I think I will have to come down off the medication. So obviously I'm using the medication for the diabetes to make sure the sugars are keeping on track. But subsequently doing that, I have lost 5 stone doing that, because what I've been able to do is manage the sugar, everything is honestly reverse. I don't feel like I would have lost the weight without the support, because what's happening, all the inflammation has come down, and my sugar levels have dropped, so I've been able to stabilise them. And the food I've been eating, obviously I've not been eating as much food. I've not even been hungry, because it does help with the food noise. I don't want to say I had massive food noise, but I think it did help quite a lot, slow down my digestion. But I wasn't just doing it that alone. I was exercising, I was eating salad. I lived off Caesar salads for months, and so I was not eating junk. And people say, when they're on medication, like, I've got like diarrhea and this is happening, that's happening. You can't eat refined sugars, you can't have high carbs on the GLP-1 because of the digestion and the sugar. You're trying to get your sugars under. I mean, I did it from like a sugar point of view to stabilise all my glucose levels and make sure that it comes back to normal. And doing that each month, well, each week, my weight just started balancing. So my weight came right down. So 5 stone down in just less than a year now. And I still can't believe, I remember starting the journey and I was like dubious and I was like scared. I was like, oh, what will people think? Because people are a bit funny about it. And yes, I'm going through my doctor and, it's for my health, but you still worry about what the people think and like what people, like a lot of people are on it and quite vocal about it. You do see a lot of trolls. People have always got something to say. People are like, oh, straight away, are you on this? Are you on that? People do always have something today. You can't help that. But I don't want to like influence people. And people obviously ask me, what have you been doing? Trying to support them. And I said, I would recommend it if your sugars are all out of control, if you've got certain health conditions. But it is a tool that does help your body. And there is something in it. I mean, there's like a group of people that you get. A group of people for me is they can eat what they want and they'll never put weight on. But there's me that would look at food and put weight on. My body, I have to be really careful. I can't just eat what I want at all. But when life starts to spiral and you're going through grief and turmoil and everything, your body just changes. You've got your cortisol levels, they're just through the roof. Like your body just freaks out, and that's what mine did. So I was able to pull that back, be monitored, and having regular blood tests. My fibromyalgia is at the best it's ever been. Like I don't have any flare-ups. I haven't had. Only problems I get is my neck that does flare up. But touch wood, I don't want to jinx myself. I'm feeling good, but that's because my inflammation markers. So it works on your inflammation. My friend started it, and because she's got like lady problems and lots of inflammation. And she said, I feel so much better to work. I can work better. So there's ingredients that, obviously I'm not a doctor, I don't know everything. There is a lot of benefits to it, but then it's a negative press that everybody hates, and people like, everyone thinks the doctors and they can say this and that and they shouldn't be taking it. But it's hard when you're on this, because it's not just that when you are coming off it, you don't just put it back on the weight. You have to maintain it. You have to make sure when the food noise comes back that you are equipped, you are calorie counting, because this journey comes with the mindset shifts for me. And being on the GLP-1 doesn't mean everything suddenly feels easy, and it definitely doesn't mean doing something wrong or cheating. It is a tool. And it's not your willpower, it's not your worth, it's not your identity. So GLP-1 and the off-track feeling is what I see a lot of, and myself, is this pressure to be perfect with food, constantly losing, always motivated and slipping. I haven't lost weight for a long time because it's not doing that now. It's not about that. It's about maintaining my sugar. It's making sure that everything's good and healthy. I have had side effects, but I have brought on my own side effects because I've not ate a lot. I've stopped having foods because I've not felt like, I felt sickly sometimes. This was only in the infancy because my sugars were really high, and it was nausea, and it was bringing my sugars down quick. But since my sugars, the last 3 months, have been so stable, like I've not had any side effects, no headaches. I'm not going to jinx myself, but not having any thirst. So it's just about hydrating. I'm eating more now. I wasn't eating before. I was like scared to eat because I didn't want to feel sick, and obviously I didn't want to have too many calories. So I've just been making sure that I'm tracking my calories and making sure I'm having the protein, and you're not always going to be perfect with food. It's just life. It's just what it is. But it's about working with your body and not fighting it. Because some days on it, your appetite will change. Some days food will feel weird. You'll eat less. Some days you don't want to eat the certain foods. And I think with winter, it has helped because I've wanted to eat warmer foods, which has been really good. I still feel cold, but I think that's because I've lost quite a lot of weight. But in summer, it will obviously change. So I'm going to probably have more salads and more proteins. This podcast is sponsored by the My Nora app. If you or someone you love is experiencing coercive control, you need to know about the My Nora app. Created by Emma Davey, a survivor and advocate. This powerful app helps you safely collect evidence, protect your well-being, and take back control, discreetly and securely. Download the My Nora app today and start reclaiming your power. Just search My Nora in your app store now. But it's just about portion control and making sure I'm getting the right nutrients, the anti-inflammatory foods, because if I'm not, that's when I'm going to lack in all my vitamins. So let's look at food on GLP-1 support and restriction. So if you're on a GLP-1, staying on track with food means prioritising your nourishment, eating enough, even if you don't want to. So even if you're just snacking throughout the day, have your proteins, have your chickens, whatever you eat, make sure you have a lot of protein. And choosing foods that help with your energy, digestion and mood, because you will have a bit of fog. So you might be considering going on a GLP-1, you might want to go private. Just do it. I always say to people, do it safely, because you've just got to, I always say to people when they ask me, and I say, go and have a blood test, go and see where your sugar's at first, go and see anything's going on in your body, because if everything's low, like your blood pressure, your sugar's low, there could be anything going on. You could have hidden heart conditions. There's so much that we don't know that's going on, but I'm always on top of my cholesterol, my heart, everything. I know what's going on all the time because I'm just constantly checking. But we don't want to be skipping food. We want to make sure we're planning them out. And it will kind of help with like habits now. Because what we're eating now, we need to be eating. Because if you're coming off medication, because our bodies change on any medication and we can eat more, eat less. We want to make sure that we are just having some like snacks in the cupboard. We're having lots of hydration. I have lots of herbal teas. I felt sickly a little bit, but I just feel like my body's had a massive shock because I've had to pull my sugars down, and I wasn't losing the weight because my sugars were high, and it would have took a long time. My doctor wasn't really focusing on the weight loss, but he said you need to lose weight, and the only way you're going to do this is by having support. So that's what I've been doing, and it's completely blown away that how great my sugars. So I'm using it for the sugars to try and get them down, but the effects of being on the medication have outweighed what it could have got a lot worse. And with having diabetes in the family, insulin and non-insulin, I've seen the effects of what it does to your circulation, your eyesight. So getting that under control, a lot of people don't know they've got pre-diabetic, diabetic level. People are completely shocked. When you go for a doctor's blood test and you're like, I just can't believe that, like, all these things come up. So you've got to be accountable. Every 6 to 12 months we should be getting things checked out, because if we don't know what's going on. And if so many friends on GLP-1, whether it's, which brand you are picking, it's just being safe if you are doing it yourself. And there is a lot of free advice out there, so always make sure you are being safe with anything that you take, and it's for the right reasons as well. It's to support you and your health, because you will see the weight shifts and the body changes, and you'll also see the identity wobbles. But staying on track also means staying emotionally supported, like checking in with how you are feeling and not just what the scales are saying. So I have many people that reach out to me that are on it, and they're like, I just can't believe how much I'm not eating, how much my mindset around food's changed. Even if it's educating you now, you've got this opportunity now to educate yourself, look at everything. And we all know it's food now, it's those gremlins. I don't know why we have those gremlins in our head. Is it emotional eating? Is it's the GLP in our body? It's our bodies. Everybody is so different. Some people, do not have weight challenges. they don't eat a lot. But some of us, sadly, we do gain weight. But just take your time with it. There's no rush. Don't be expecting it in a week. You can do it quietly like I've been doing. You're allowed to make it your own. It's been my journey. It's been a hell of a journey. I've gone through grief doing this. I've had to look at the physical changes to my body. I've also had people being negative, saying, "Oh, you're losing too much weight. It looks, I don't look too thin. I'm still overweight on the BMI chart, but my face looks thinner, so it's going to be a shock. Plus, I'm 40. It's like when you're in your 40s and you lose weight on your face, it's a complete shock to everybody. But it's just about looking after you. I always say to people, like, a lot, you just look after yourself and make sure just do it as your journey. You don't need to tell people what you're doing. It's just feeling supported. And it's like open, like me losing weight, as my confidence has changed so much, and I just feel like I'm ready for anything now. Like, I feel like everything's getting like on track. Sometimes we just need that little nudge and a little bit of support. I just feel like without it, last year would have been so different. And this is the only thing that like I was manifesting the most. Like my weight and my body was just struggling, and I just thought everything else is like perfect. Why is my body just not responding to the way it used to be? And I didn't realise what it was at the beginning, and I just went for an over 40s MOT check. So if you are 40 and you've not got an MOT, go and have one, because we don't know what's going on in our body, like lacking of vitamins. There's always something to the way you're feeling, and because we don't just feel a kind of way for nothing. And I'm always checking my blood pressure all the time, making sure that's right. And my blood pressure's actually come down quite a lot. I mean, it was always all right, but my cholesterol's dropped more. So I've got a lot of good cholesterol in my body. Even though I was active, if I wasn't active, my body probably would have been a lot different. But because I have that fitness background, and even though I don't work in the fitness industry anymore and I coach online, I have a lot of people privately that I work with that are going through this. So, if you are just thinking about, you might be on medication now and you don't have any support, or you might not want to go to a gym, or don't be afraid of what people think, because I don't judge people. We can't judge people. We don't know what people are going through. We don't know, we don't know what's going on. So I think it's being kind to other people and supportive, and just making sure you're take care of you. You're the most important thing, is you and your mindset and, everything. And we have to sometimes we just need a little bit of support. So having that support off your doctor and your nurses is important as much as anything. But if we don't go to the doctors, we don't know what's going on. Anything, doesn't matter what age you are, our bodies change all the time. And it can shock you. It can come out of nowhere. And when that happens, you are not prepared for what's going to happen. So for me now, it's just making sure that I'm looking after myself. I'm eating. I'm still having the odd treat, because, I still do things. My family, I don't really go out, so I don't particularly eat loads. But I started to eat a little bit more lately, but I'm still sticking to my calories. So I've obviously was eating a lot less. But that's because my sugars were stabilising. My body was feeling different, so I feel like I'm enjoying food a little bit more now. So and that's telling me that it's time to probably start reducing the dose, like on a maintenance dose, to then, like, I don't know when the doctor's going to pull me off the medication, because last time I went to the nurse, she was like, incredible, like, I can't believe, like, it's worked. And it worked within like 3 months. My sugars had dropped. Within 6 months, it was like the lowest they've been in a long time. So I've not actually noticed they started creeping up, and I couldn't figure out why. So was it inevitable with the family? Well, I mean, I don't know. So my body's had a lot of changes, and we changed our activity levels, perimenopause, menopause. This is when we started to see these fluctuations, and our adipose tummy fat that causes a lot of bother for us. Because we do, like, when we've had children, we have that pocket of fat there, and we leave it there, and it grows a little bit, and then it shrinks a little bit. But it's just making sure we're having lots of water, and we're exercising and getting on that treadmill. I've got a little treadmill here. It's just a walking plate, and it's just easy. Just burn that belly fat, and that will help with sugar as well. So when you break it down, is like when your glucose, which is your blood sugar, levels are high, your body releases more insulin. Insulin's job is to move sugar out of your blood, but it also tells your body to store fat, especially in the belly area. So that's why belly fat is often less about laziness or lack of willpower and more about what's happening hormonally inside the body. So when glucose is constantly spiking, which mine was, fat loss became a lot harder for me, and I was doing everything I could. The body stays in storage mode, and energy crashes happen more often, and cravings do increase. So when you're on GLP-1, by lowering appetite and slowing digestion, the GLP-1 helps reduce big glucose spikes. It keeps blood sugar more stable and lowers insulin levels over time. So when insulin isn't constantly high, your body finally feels safe enough to release that stored fat, and that is the stubborn belly fat. Exercise and constant movement is the best thing you can do for glucose balance. So when you move your body, your muscles use glucose for energy, your blood sugar lowers naturally, and your insulin levels don't need to spike as much. So your body becomes more insulin sensitive over time. And that's huge for belly fat, energy and hormone balance. So training is brilliant. Walking, Pilates, resistance band movement. I do that every day. Just low impact workouts. I've done exercise with weight loss, but I haven't gone to the gym loads. I haven't worked out at the highest level. So I've only been working 60 to 70% of what I would normally work at, because because obviously I've been feeling a little bit sickly and not as full of energy, because it's been a process and I've had to get through a hurdle. But I have been doing movement every day. So if it's just lower impact movement, I'm toning, because your body, depending how much you've got to lose, your body can feel wobbly and a bit stretchy. The bigger you are and the more you lose, your body is going to have a lot of excess skin. So I've not been too bad, to be fair, because I did a lot of fitness before. I obviously got some, because obviously I'm older as well, so it's not always going to come back to normal, but just keep toning, plenty of water, making sure that I'm just keeping everything stable. Don't overdo it, because too much high intensity exercise, especially when you're under eating or exhausted, can raise your cortisol, increase insulin resistance, stall fat loss and make cravings worse. So more isn't always better. Regulated is better. There's no point burning out, and that's what I thought, because I would have one time just gone to the gym every day and think that's the solution, but I would have been burnt out. I don't have the time to do that. I'm busy, I'm a parent. We can do exercise at home, as long as we are looking after ourselves, controlling ourselves and keeping a close eye on ourselves, and then just make sure you're doing some exercise, and then we can start building it up over time. So anyway, I will leave it there, and let me know your thoughts. Have you been on a weight loss journey? Are you on medications? Anything that's restricting you to exercise? Losing weight can increase your energy levels to exercise more, to feel confident to go in the gym, to wear different clothes. There's pros and cons of everything in life. It's just being safe, and that's all I say, is being safe and making sure that you are taking accountability for your health and not being silly. So I will leave it there, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye for now. If you're feeling called to go deeper, to align more, create more, and really step into that next version of you, you'll find everything you need in my link tree. From my book Manifesting Through Motherhood to powerful resources and ways we can work together, it's all there waiting for you. Come and find me on Instagram or Facebook. I love hearing what landed with you. Don't forget to follow the podcast, and if this episode spoke to you, please share it with someone who is on their own journey too. And happy manifesting.